So here is DIS, Walt Disney Company. This finishes at $152 today. That is up 3.35%. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is AFRM Affirm Holdings. This finishes at $58.68 today. That is down 21.42%. So major price action on the stock today to the downside, and that is because we had earnings. So apparently the company accidentally tweeted out the earnings too early ahead of schedule, because this was up at around 84 before the tweet came out. And then once the tweet came out, it tanked all the way down to about $50 and has since recovered back up to around 59. But yeah, crazy day for this stock. But let's check out the earnings here. So EPS was negative 57 cents, which missed the estimate of negative 34 cents. So pretty big miss there. That's not good. And revenue was $361 million, which beat the estimate of $329 million. So miss on EPS, beat on revenue. So honestly, earnings weren't too bad. That's pretty average. At least they didn't miss on revenue as well. But it seems like the market didn't like it, and everyone dumping their stock here. So the stock finishes down 21.42%. Very nasty. So let's go ahead and analyze here. So this is pulling back in the aftermarket down to 56.50. So that is a bearish indicator. That is suggesting that tomorrow the stock will continue to sell off. This looks like a possible double top at around 83.50. So that would be a bearish indicator. But this also looks like a possible double/triple bottom. So that would be a bullish indicator. So I think there's a good chance this comes back down to the $50 range before this goes up again. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 59.70 and 57.40. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 59.70, 61.05, 62.70, 64.35, 66, 67.65, 69.60, 71.25, 72.95, 74.60, 76.55, 78.55, 81.50, 83.50, 85.50, 87.15, 91.10, 94.05, 96.40, 98.05, 99.70, 102, 104, 106, and then 108. There is resistance above 108, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 57.40, 55.10, 53.45, 51.10, 48.15, and then the low of 46.85. 46.85 is the yearly low. I do not have any support after that. So right now at this current price, 58.70, the channels to the downside are pretty wide, so expect a significant increase in price action if this continues to run to the downside. That's not good. And to the upside, the channels are pretty decently sized, so expect a normal amount of price action if this runs to the upside. However, if/when this hits 72.95 to the upside, the channel starts to open up and get pretty wide, so expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 72.95. RSI is currently at 41, so below average there. So according to the RSI, the stock price should be a little above what it is now, 58.70. And this did 84 million in volume today. Very significant volume. Biggest volume day ever for the stock. So this sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. Okay, so just my opinion, guys, not financial advice. There's not too much to go off of here. But again, we do have bearish indicators in the aftermarket action and the double top. So at this point, I do think it will pull back. Don't know how low it's going to go, but based on the possible double/triple bottom here, it would appear like this is going to come back down to around $50, catch support around there, and then bounce. We have a slightly bullish indicator in the RSI and no neutral indicators. So overall, the stock does look slightly bearish to bearish. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would hold off for right now. 58.70 is already a pretty decent price, relative low, but I do think it will pull back even harder to around $50. So personally, I would set my buy orders to around 50. I think that would be a really excellent entry. And if it pulls back below 50, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. but it really shouldn't go too much lower than 50. That would be near the all-time low, and there is strong support there. So I do expect a bounce at around 50. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. Again, I do think it will come back down to 50, and from this current price, that would be around a 15% downside, but I just don't think the risk is worth the reward. I would say going short here would be a high risk, low reward play. Not too many tendies to be made on the downside, and you would be exposing yourself to a lot of upside risk. I just think it's way too late to go short here. Should have went short in the $100 range. Here at $58.70, I think it's just way too late. Not too much more downside potential and a good amount of upside potential. So I just don't really see a reason to go short here. I think there are way better short plays out there in the market, and this one is not too great. So while you can make some money on the short side here, I just don't really see why you would do that. Too risky for my liking. So I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. So I think this one is pretty straightforward here, guys. Looks like it will come down a little bit more, and I think you can get an excellent price at around 50, but I would not go short here because that's a bit too risky for my liking. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today, but could be a good buying opportunity coming up here. Not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AFRM Affirm Holdings. So here is DIS, Walt Disney Company. This finishes at $152 today. That is up 3.35%. So this stock was one of the few stocks that did finish in the green today. Major market sell-off, everything went down for the most part, but Disney held up pretty well. And that is because it did have good earnings yesterday after market. So let's check that out. So EPS was $1.06, which beat the estimate of 63 cents. And revenue was $21.82 billion, which beat the estimate of $20.96 billion. So really good earnings. Huge EPS beat, slight revenue beat. Also have some pretty good news here. Disney Plus is nearing 130 million subscribers. And in addition to that, we do have some price upgrades here. JP Morgan actually lowers their price target to $200, but still bullish there. Bank of America reiterates their buy rating. No price target there, but they say it's a buy. BMO Capital upgrades to 175. Evercore ISI downgrades to 190, but still bullish there. So yeah, overall, really bullish. Seems like the institutions really liked it and bought up a lot of stock here. So let's go ahead and analyze now. So first of all, we do have a gap down at around 174. So that's a bullish indicator. That is telling us eventually the stock should come back up to 174 to fill that gap. And then today we have a gap up at 147. So that's a bearish indicator that is telling us this stock should eventually come back down to 147 to fill that gap. And this does appear to be a cup and handle in the making here. Bottom of the cup being around 132. Top of the cup could be 160, 169, or even as high as 179. But it doesn't matter where the top of the cup is. Those are all bullish indicators. That is telling us the stock should eventually come back up to one of those tops to complete the cup. And no confirmation just yet, but this does appear to be a possible bull flag in the making. So that would be a bullish indicator that is telling us the stock may want to break out to the upside. It does appear like we have a flagpole forming here, and all we need is the flag for confirmation. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is sitting on the support of 152, which it finished at today. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 153, 154, 155, 156, 157, 158, 159, 160, 164, 168, 169, 170, 172, 174, 175, 176, 177, 178, 179, and then 180. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 151, 150, 149, 147, 145, 144, 143, 142, 140, 139, 138, 137, 136, 135, 134, 132, and then the low of 129. So pretty close support and resistance there. So right now at this current price, 152, the channels to the upside and the downside are pretty decently sized. So expect a regular amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 159 to the upside, the channels start to open up, get pretty wide. So expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 159. And to the downside, if/when this breaks 149, the channels start to open up, get pretty wide. So expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 149. So from 159 down to 149, normal price action. Anything above and below that, big increase in price action. RSI is currently at 60, so a little bit above average there. Slightly bearish. So according to the RSI, the current price of 152 should be a little lower. And this did 42 million in volume today. Very significant volume, way above the average. So this pump today was confirmed by the volume. Okay, guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. Kind of hard to tell where this is going to go. We have bullish indicators in the cup and handle, gap down, possible bull flag, and we have bearish indicators in the gap up and RSI. So overall, it does look more bullish than bearish. So this is either going to come up to 174, fill that gap, and then come back down to 147 and fill that gap, or it's going to come down to 147, fill that gap, and then come back up to 174 to fill that gap. But no matter what, I do think it will come back down to 147 at some point. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, you missed a huge run today, and I would hold off and set the buy orders to 147 because that is where the gap up is, and I do think it will pull back there eventually. It may run to the upside for a little bit, but eventually it should pull back to 147. So I would support going long at 147 and lower. If it pulls back below 147, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, I would not do that just yet. Again, this should pull back down to 147 at some point, but from here, that's only about a 5% downside. Not the most tendies in the world to the downside, but I do think if this does come back up to 174, that would be an excellent entry to go short. But only if it comes back up to 174 before it comes back down to 147. At 174, that would be about a 20% downside to 147. Pretty decent tendies there. So not the craziest play in the world, but it should be a relatively easy 20%. So I would support going short at 174 and higher. And then I would take cover at 147. You know, longer term, this is a really good stock. It is Disney, blue chip value stock, so you don't really want to hold this one on the short side for that long. So get in, get your tendies, get out. So pretty straightforward here, guys. I think 147 is a good entry on the long side, and I think 174 is a good entry on the short side. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is DIS, Walt Disney Company. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.